Hi, Richard from ProStream. What we're here to talk about today is the ProStream Terra Clean on-car diesel induction system cleaner. So what's unique about this particular product is due to carboning issues in the intake manifold with today's diesel engines, it's a very effective product to help remove that carbon. The major benefits with using this particular product is customers are going to see an improvement with fuel economy, increase in power and torque, and preventative maintenance in repairs. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to actually use this piece of equipment. It's relatively simple, but there's a few things that you do need to know. Probably the first port of call is to actually do an inspection of the induction system manifold and or the intake manifold, which we've done previously. This one's actually quite dirty and it's going to respond really well to a clean. So the clean's actually done in two parts. So for part one, we typically go through the fresh air side of the airbox on the inlet side of the turbocharger. And what that will do as the cleaning product goes through, it will assist with cleaning the induction tubing and the inlet side of the turbo. And most of that cleaning solution will go through the intercooler and help clean any contamination out of the intercooler. The second part to the clean is we're going to apply the product as close to the throttle body as we can. So generally after the intercooler into the throttle body itself. A couple of things that you need to know is we don't apply the product in front of an air mass meter. I'll say that one more time. You don't want to apply the product in front of the air mass meter, as that the product can be quite aggressive and potentially damage that air mass meter, so we don't want to do that. When we do the clean, we want to make sure that the engine's up to normal operating temperature, so just check your temperature gauge and make sure the engine's at normal operating temperature. We want to make sure the engine runs. So we don't want the engine stalling in any way when we apply the product, so we don't want to walk away from the clean while it's being carried out. A little bit about the equipment. It's really easy to use. I've just filled up the cylinder with a bottle of Terra Clean. It comes in around about 950 ml bottle, just shy of a litre. We undo the lid. We make sure there's no air pressure inside the cylinder first before we fill it. We make sure both valves, these valves for the hoses here, the top one is the air valve, the bottom one is the liquid line valve. So they'll be in the closed position when the valves themselves are at right angles to the hose. So we fill it up, we put the lid on securely, we tighten it. What we do next is we connect up our shop air. We initially set our air pressure. We've got a manually adjustable regulator here. If we turn that clockwise, that will increase the pressure on the gauge. Anti-clockwise will decrease the pressure. So we want to sit sort of around about between 40 to 50 psi when we do the clean. You will see an initial pressure drop when we open up the air valve, and what we do is we just adjust that air pressure to maintain 45 to 50 psi. On the side of the cylinder is a measuring increment, and we watch it drop down 200 ml. Okay, when you've ran 200 ml of cleaning solution through the inlet side of the turbo, what we need to do is turn the liquid line off, that's the bottom valve, to the closed position. We allow the air valve to remain open for around about an extra minute. That will blow out any residual cleaner in the hose. Now we turn the airline off and disconnect the airline to the cleaner. We just let the engine run for at least sort of 30 seconds to a minute, just to allow any extra cleaning solution to be combusted before we shut the engine down. Okay, what I've just done is before I've installed the intake tubing to the inlet side of the turbo, I've just given it a wipe out to make sure there's no excess fluid there. That way there's no way it's going to contaminate the air mass meter. I've fitted up my clamp now, so I've got good sealing, and I'm about to start part 2 of the clean, which I'm progressing to move over to the induction tubing, which is after the intercooler going to the inlet side of the throttle body, or near around the EGR valve area. So I'm going to remove that pipe, I'm going to fit the S-tool in that tubing there, and we're going to start part 2 of the clean. Okay, now we're going to do part 2 of the clean. So as you can see here, I've got positioned the S-tool into the throttle body inlet here. I've got both valves closed. We're going to leave the engine at idle at this phase of the clean. So what I do is I open up the air valve. I regulate my pressure back up to 45 psi. And then I open up the inlet valve for the fluid line. So the cleaning's now in process. You'll start to see cleaning solution go through the clear hose, and we run the remainder of the cleaning fluid, which is around about 750 ml, through on part 2 of the clean. What's really important is that you make sure that you don't walk off when you do the clean. You supervise it, because if the engine stalls for whatever reason, you don't want to create a hydraulic lock in the engine. Once the clean has been carried out, all you need to do is remove the equipment, undo your intercooler hose, tighten up all your clamps, and take the car for a really good road test. It's not uncommon to get a little bit of diesel knock. If you do get a little bit of diesel knock when you're doing this clean, all you need to do is shut the liquid line off for 2 minutes, allow the engine to run until the knock disappears, and then repeat the process by opening up the liquid line again. When you road test the vehicle, don't go and just accelerate really hard at the start. Just accelerate gently and take the car for at least a good 5-minute drive. Give it a chance for the turbo to come under boost and allow the fluid to actually clean and burn off. It's also good practice after you do a clean to grab your scan tool if you want. It's good practice, but if you can reset your adapters with the diesel engine or do a EGR valve relearn, you'll get a better result. The vehicle will perform a lot better as well. It's also good practice to check for any diagnostic fault codes and clear those before you give the car back to the customer.